based on PR's manifesto on assisting based on need base, how would Pakatan parties address the 7% Bumi Putra discounts on new homes? Would this be then be given to other races as well? And how would you address this on high expensive homes of millions? Would this discount be continued since it's based on need base? So would this be shared equally with every other race in Malaysia? Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Jin Shi. For the last few years, a large amount of contracts have been awarded. For the last few years, a large amount of contracts have been awarded with the PM promise. They have learned from the past that the Selangor water problem, they must have tightened a lot of the areas in the contract. How are we able to revisit these contracts? Are we in a position to review the prices? Are we in a position to get back what is the correct value of this contract? And will this drag us into another big battle where a lot of our time and resources like the Selangor state has suffered? That the next many years that we have to fight over this reviewing of these contracts. Thank you.
Thank you for your question.
Assalamualaikum, salam sejahtera. Saya ada dua question, satu untuk YB Usam dan lagi satu untuk YB Limbuan Eng. Pertama, kita dipahamkan ada penemuan minyak di daratan di Kelantan. Bagaimana kedudukan dari segi membangunkan industri petroleum yang Kelantan dikatakan ada sumber itu sekarang ini? Bagaimana hubungan dari segi nak membangunkan industri minyak itu di antara kerajaan pusat dan kerajaan Kelantan? Itu satu. Untuk Wabi Limon Eng, kita tahu, saya pun isteri saya di Pulau Pinang, ya. Pembangunan dari segi regional development lah, ya, pembangunan wilayah. Pembangunan di pulau atau orang Penang kata tanjung, ya, lebih pesat daripada pembangunan di bahagian tanah besar. Dan saya rasa di sana mungkin Wabi ada buat plan atau perancangan untuk menyeimbangkan pembangunan wilayah di antara pembangunan di tanjung dan di tanah seberang. Kalau ada, jadi saya rasa eloklah kalau ada perancangan untuk pembangunan di dua wilayah di dalam pen ini dapat diseimbangkan supaya akhirnya nanti Pulau Pinang pulau maju, Tanjung maju dan kawasan seberang juga maju. Ya, itu soalan saya. Terima kasih.
Perhaps on the question about revisiting contracts made by the Barisan Nasional previously and how Pakatan governments plan to address those.
Okay, mungkin saya boleh angkat soalan terakhir berkaitan dengan pembangunan seimbang untuk kedua-dua wilayah di Pulau Pinang. Saya rasa yang seperti yang saya sebut tadi, saya rasa itu teras utama kerajaan negeri untuk membawa pembangunan adalah berdasarkan pembangunan infrastruktur. Kerana kita rasa masa sudah sampai untuk memberikan kemudahan yang sewajarnya supaya rakyat dapat mengambil peluang yang disediakan. Kita tak mahu bersaing dengan rakyat ataupun dengan perniagaan kecil untuk membuat bisnes. Saya selalu sebut the business of government is to stay out of business. Kita tak mahu macam GLC, kenapa nak menandingi atau bersaing dengan pihak swasta yang tanggungjawab sebuah kerajaan ialah menyediakan infrastruktur. Tak kira jalan, tak kira lapangan terbang ataupun pelabuhan ataupun infrastruktur digital. Pastikan Pulau Pinang hijau, bersih, selamat dan sihat. Itulah sebabnya bila kita sebut tentang pembangunan infrastruktur, bukan sahaja dekat kawasan pulau, bahkan juga dalam kawasan wilayah seberang Perak. Dan dalam pembangunan itu pembinaan longkang, taman hijau dan juga jalan raya, ini buat kali pertamanya kita boleh lihat bahawa pembangunan perbelanjaan pembangunan untuk kawasan seberang melebihi di kawasan pulau, kecuali mungkin dekat balik pulau ada sikit banyak. Tapi untuk kawasan seberang lebih berbanding dengan kawasan pulau. Dan apabila kita nak buat projek lebuh raya baru, kita pun tak meminggirkan ataupun membiarkan seberang perai dengan pembinaan terung bawah dasar laut. Dia akan menghubungi pihak seberang. Dan saya rasa ini sedikit sebanyak akan membawa pembangunan dan pertumbuhan pada kawasan seberang perai. Dan saya rasa itu adalah sesuatu yang penting, membolehkan mereka mendapat mengambil peluang yang disediakan. Now the question on revisiting the contracts, there was asked. I think it's something that is very crucial. Now we do not want to to strike fear by saying that, oh, you just cancel all these contracts. I think that is a pure fear mongering by the Pakatan National federal government. What we will do is that we need to revisit some of these unfair contracts, and we believe that finally the investors will have to agree to the evaluation of these terms. After all, I think everyone in their wisdom would know that you just cannot rely on these unfair contracts with huge amounts of subsidies. There has to be a fairer share, and what we seek at the end, when we, as I said, revisit some of these contracts, is to ensure a win-win solution. Because we don't want to frighten off the markets also, but we want to achieve a fairer solution for the people. And I'm sure the investors will know that that is something that they also have to participate. And I think that in the end, a fairer system will benefit everyone, and everyone will come out as a winner. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Over sir.
Well, regards to the first question, I believe that is more addressable in the afternoon session, where you're talking about capital flight as well as negative interest rates. I think Rafizi this afternoon, Dr. Zul, will equally share that experience much better than we do, because that manifesto GE13, including comparison between the welfare and at the same time between masses and new age business realities. Regarding the second question pertaining 7% Bumi status, I think that will be also addressable in the afternoon session. I can only equally say that I think all these contracts which are being signed by the federal government or state government with some of these third parties, they can easily be revisited. For instance, in Perak, we were against the coming of the usage of telur rupiah for the iron ore manufacturing from Brazil, a company called Vale. Now, there was a pact signed between the state government and that particular investor, where should there be any dispute between state government and them, the dispute must be settled in the Singapore court, which I think is an act of belittling our courts as well. So I think those aspects need to be revisited so that we can get advantage. At the same time, when these investors, they went to Arab countries as well as China, all these countries, they put stern conditions so that they can benefit from that investment. But in Perak, the existing government signed a contract where we got nothing from that. We sold our piece of land to them permanently, perpetually, for 460 million paid by them. Now no Malaysians, no Perakian can go to that beach and have their normal swimming. So that has been the case. Now that those agreements, I think, has to be revisited so that at least the Perakians could enjoy something from the coming of these investors from Brazil. Thank you.
Thank you.
Petroleum resources management in Malaysia is discriminative in nature. Out of 4 producing states, only Kelantan not paid any single cent from our petroleum money. And although all the 14 states in Malaysia signed the same and similar agreement and investing bid as Terengganu, Sabah, Sarawak, only Kelantan not being paid anything. And that's why we go to the court. And when we go to court, not only the court delay the court process, but we cannot even getting the documents regards to the petroleum resources in Kelantan, either onshore or offshore. So when we entered the agreement in 1975, we willing to give all the resources of petroleum onshore and offshore to Petronas. But when they found petroleum offshore, they used that excuse Kelantan not entitled because Kelantan petroleum only found offshore, not onshore. And we come to the formula that we also have a petroleum onshore. And this information coming from Petronas itself, black door information, yeah? backdoor information, not through the front door information. So we now appointed one private geophysics to do a study to compete with Petronas on our own study and finding of the resources onshore Kelantan. But back to Petronas, you see out of 4 producing states, only Kelantan alone, not even a single petroleum landed in Kelantan. Our gas and petroleum went to Thailand and went to Terengganu. So we cannot get any economic spill over from petroleum. So not just about royalty payment, but also the economic spillover of the resources. So we need a new federal government to reconsider this thing. And in 1995, we entered agreement with KUB. And to Dr. Mahathir as Prime Minister attended the occasion at that time to develop petroleum processing hub in Bachok. And we allocated 2,000 acres of land. And 1 year later, they terminated that agreement. They're not willing to lend any single petroleum in Kelantan. Meanwhile, Petronas make a lot of money out of our petroleum. Billions of money out of our petroleum. And by that money, part of that, they constructed KLCC. Very close to our opinion today. Yet Petronas rent KLCC from its own subsidiary plus another Krishna, one of the shareholders. Only Malaysia fortunate to have a share and getting rent out of KLCC every year. And the renting is about 251 million a year. And for the last 16 years, Petronas already paid 4 billion, more than 4 billion. And a part of that goes to Ananda. And in Kelantan, you found a hardcore poverty, a poor family, and we producing petroleum, billions of ringgit a year, and yet we cannot taste even a single cent of money from that resources. So it is very unfair, very, very unfair. So on these things alone, we need to change the government. And we hopefully have a new government which is more, what's it called, sensitive to the cause of the people. So onshore petroleum is a new battle, And we, if the government continue for the next term, we do not hesitate to terminate PDA Agreement 1975 and go on our own for producing the petroleum onshore. And hopefully, at that time, we not rely to federal government any single cent. And for sure, I think we can develop Kelantan better than Penang.